Dannison here with Graed Entertainment. I'm here with Eric Reed and Adamus. We're here to show you a first look of Madden NFL 15 on the Xbox One. This is Eric's first time opening up the game, and he came here with the idea that the game was going to suck anyway. So we're going to see what he thinks about this. Eric, to you.
That's a misrepresentation of what I said. I didn't think that it was going to be enough of an upgrade to truly hook me. They don't usually make great leaps forward with year to year. I would much prefer a 2-year system. But anyway, they start off immediately with a tutorial system that you cannot skip. You cannot get out of it. You cannot select whether or not you want to do it. I do not like that. They just want to show off their pretty new graphics. Yeah, if they'd have made this optional, it would have been so much better. But they have all this extra verbiage, and just a lot of needless time. Let me play or let me don't. I already know what I'm doing. I don't need the intro, right? Or let me go straight to the skills challenge. The verbiage in it kind of doesn't feel organic or authentic. It's all forced and scripted, of course. But it's like, it grates me a little bit to my football core. So here you start the drive with Cam Newton against the defense, and the very first play is scripted for you. That immediately just it's a little frustrating. Then you finally get to play on their new play selection system, which is no longer horizontal, it's vertical. Not a big fan of that. I'm much more familiar with the horizontal style. They just wanted to go for a different aesthetic, I guess. Adam, any commentary?
As far as the play calling, it's not as bad as people think. Once you do get used to it, I think Danny will agree, it's not as horrible as it seems. The problem is the button layout. They put Y, X, and A at the bottom, and defaulting that A is at the bottom, you would assume it would be the default play.
Which you'll see that later on when we show you a little more gameplay, where you see how that affects you really badly as a veteran Madden player, and you go to do a kick or a punt. But anyway, back to you, Adam.
Yeah, and A used to be the default play, and now Y has become the default, but that's not nothing you can't get used to. Here you see some of the gorgeous new gameplay they have. Eric touched on it a little bit. The graphics are way upgraded. The game is smooth, fluid. Doesn't seem to have as many breaks and befores where there was just timeout. They've integrated a lot of the video replays into the play calling screens and stuff like that. So it seems a lot more fluid. Eric, anything to touch on? You did this opening drive here with the Panthers. Anything you want to touch on what was going on?
The gameplay still, it feels smooth. It didn't have that initial, immediately after the snap, you get a little bit of lag. So that's a plus. They did streamline it a little bit. The commentary by Nance and Sims seems to be expanded upon. I do always like that EA kind of left the Simisms in it, where he would say something, then realize it was wrong. I found a little bit of amusement in that, but it gets annoying quickly, and I always end up turning it down. The gameplay itself, on top of it, the passing system is still refined. As far as the defense goes, I haven't played a lot of the defense, but they've added more for you to do than just wiggle a stick back and forth. You actually have to, time the snap and hit the correct corresponding button in order to get off the block. So
one thing to remember as you watch a lot of this closing footage from the intro here, a lot of this extra videos is not in the actual gameplay, it's just added. So all this here, it's not actually in the game, it's just their extra show off the new graphic.
And the one other thing that pisses me off is you just sent Cam Newton to the Super Bowl. Congratulations, douchebag. Sorry if there's any Carolina fans, but we don't like Cam Newton.
No, seeing that footage immediately made me feel bad about winning that. Yeah, I don't like Cam Newton personally.
All right, and we're back here now with the first gameplay between Eric and Danny. Eric will be the Bears. Danny will be the Cowboys. As you can see here, right up on the screen, Danny had pulled up. There is no longer a coin flip in the game. You do have to go into settings and set whether your first choice is to kick, receive, with wind, or against wind. And honestly, I think that's a little something that budget cuts. I mean, what do I test this to?
It's that they could never get it right, and it was always a waste of time in the game. You would select to go with the wind, and the wind was backwards. They couldn't figure it out for 2 years. What happened? Why did it stop working? Well, I don't know. but it was always boring and pointless in the beginning of the game anyway. So I think that's why they ultimately took it out.
So we make this a short game. You're going to see that we take the time down in the quarters, but we also turn off the accelerated clock. We go to enhanced play call style, so we can pick our own plays without the one play selection they give you if you go with the quick style. And we try to make this like the upcoming December 4th Thursday night game in Chicago, Cowboys-Bears. Should be a good game because their defenses both suck, but they both have pretty good offenses. So anyway, get ready to see some good highlights from a very Blizzard-like game. I don't know what else to call it. It's like a blizzard. You can't see the goal line. So here it's come.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Both defenses will have to be on the watch for a pair of tight ends looking to find seams in the secondary. It's Bennett's Bears going up against Witten's Cowboys. Now we'll go down to Soldier Field for this matchup.
Cowboys, Bears. The snow is coming down here. What a setting it is as we prepare for today's game. Hello, friends. Jim Nance along with Phil Sim. Just prior to kickoff for this primetime extravaganza, and this adds another whole layer of excitement when you have this game under the light.
I think you said it right. Center stage, players love it. Anytime you turn on the lights, they know it's special, and it brings out the emotion out of these players. And also, let's don't forget, the fans, they've been here all afternoon getting ready, so we're going to have a loud crowd also.
The deep returner is Michael Spurlock in his 8th season out of Ole Miss. Dan Bailey has it teed up for the opening kickoff.
You're also going to see coming up that when the quarterback comes out to take charge of the team, they added a set of real-world footage up to give a little bit more authenticity to the game experience. If you're into that type of thing and don't just mash A to skip straight to the plays. So trying to see how it responds to bad passes and contested coverage, I tried this little thing, and you can hear Danny's response.
Lines up here. Third and 3. Looking across the
Bruce Crowder with the
beyond the markers. It's a first down.
And I want to put out there that the running game is not as easy as Madden 25. So his running game was pretty non-existent right here, which leads to a Barry Church pick. Thank you very much.
So when does Destiny come out?
Here's the handoff, middle. Tackle's made, and the first down is picked up. After that completion, Tony Romo will take it right from the center. The defense gets the sack.
Right here, we're about to see a prime example of that new play calling we were talking about. Once again, A is no longer the default go-to play, so Danny here, trying to speed the game up, hits A, thinking he's going to get a good punt off, and whoa, what was that? Yeah, that's right. A is now go for it. So watch that on field goals and punts. All right, big thing like Danny touched on, the running game, it's not as easy as 25. That's a pretty good way to explain it. I wouldn't say it's actually hard, but it's definitely, the defensive line got those big improvements this year, and it definitely made running the ball harder. Pass rushing, it's through the roof.
Yeah, you got a mini game with it. I mean, you time the snap, you press the right trigger, and if you timed it correctly, you get this perfect snap, which gives you this boost. And then you just got to do the right button at the right time, and you get past your blocker and possibly break up a play.
Is it a twitch reflex, or is there actually a strategy to if it's a run play or a pass play, depending on the block?
When you're on defense, honestly, and it's a user game or even versus the computer, right before the offensive snap, you will feel a vibration in the controller, and that's when you time the trigger. From there, they give you the X and the A icon above the player's head, which is either X power move, A finesse move. But even on before any of that, now you can actually steer the blocker away from the play. So if you're facing like a Cam Newton and RG3 and you're worried about a rollout, steer the blocker to the outside, get him to, get that quarterback contained, then worry more about the pass rushing moves, which are vastly improved. Some might call them a little overpowered, but that's yet to be seen really how much they do affect it. But another big improvement, zone coverage, I think. Years past, man coverage has been more of a go-to reliable option, but this year the zone coverage is vastly improved. Defensive players now actually read the zone and will stay in the areas, make the correct adjustments to overloads. A big part, I think, comes to, like I said, the new engine that runs on it. But like I said, you can see a lot of these zone plays here. Eric's guy was there. Danny with a nice spin move there, which helps, but the new tackling system, Danny will touch on that with the cone and everything. I mean, that's...
The cone is stupid. Okay, I'm sorry, EA. Actually, I'm not sorry because you guys pissed me off anyway. But, the cone is stupid. You guys add this cone. There was no problem for anybody who got used to Madden 25. There was no problem with timing your tackle. Yes, you guys did a better job of people not just breaking every tackle. You don't have LaShawn McCoy running through 10 different guys and then going for 80 yards. You don't have that anymore. That's great. But the cone is ridiculous. If you can't time it, you shouldn't be playing football. Sorry, that's just the way I feel.
One of the things that I used to see was when they first introduced the up to 9 men gang tackle, was all 9 men would hit the running back, and then all of a sudden the animation would start and he just ran right through. Have you guys noticed a lot of canned animation plays while you guys have been playing this? A lot more than I have, obviously.
Well, the animation, they still have the game tackling. That's still a part of it. But kind of like what Danny touched on, it's no longer running backs overpowering tackles. It's going to be you broke off a long run because the defender missed tackles or mistimed them, or the hit stick now, unless you're really close, it's
more realistic.
It's not as good. Yes, which is true. Yeah, it's not going to be overpowered runners. It's not going to be missed tackles. There's another pick, which you can see the zone coverage there. I believe that was perfectly played by the defenders. Years past, they might have got loose, let somebody behind them, but the defense got a huge boost this year.
What's some of the best improvements you guys have played on this?
Defense, all-day defense. I mean, once you get good at defense on 25, that's great. You're decent at defense. But if you've got somebody who's an offensive powerhouse, defense is always at a disadvantage when it comes to Madden 25. Now it's much more even, and I give that credit to the Seattle Seahawks for beating the crap out of Peyton Manning and his Broncos.
Yeah, and last year, no matter how good or bad the players were or the teams they built, you'd still see high-scoring games. You'd still get user games 4 or 5 years into dynasties, talking, 35-38, 42-40, stuff like that. But now,
I just want to point out, Romo he throws a pick no matter what in the fourth quarter. I love Romo, but the game doesn't, so they did that to him. So yes, I just got Romo'd. Great.
It's a Madden mechanic, just like the catch-up mechanic that they'll never admit to, right?
Finishing up my thought from earlier, games are a lot more low-scoring now. You won't see the high-scoring affairs anymore. The defense mechanics really brought down the overall scoring of the games.
So bottom line, is Madden 15 worth your money?
Well, to me, this is Danny talking, by the way. To me, Madden 15 is more than worth it. It's better than Madden 25 in most ways, not in all ways, but in most ways. The graphics are beautiful. The presentation is beautiful. That alone, to me, is enough to make you want to at least check it out. Adam?
Being that it's the first true next-gen game, I think alone it's worth your money. A lot of people are going to be transitioning over to the next-gen soon, and you're going to want a sports game. And if Madden's your forte, I think that it's definitely worth picking up.
Don't pick up Matt Forte. He just lost to the Cowboys.
But I feel it's more for a hardcore Madden fan. I've never been one. I've always picked up the game, but I've never gotten into I'm always playing this game forever. So for me, it's kind of a wait-and-see approach. I'm going to try a little bit more before I decide to buy it. It looks pretty. It certainly does. It is the very first next-gen sports game.
So do you hate it, Eric?
I don't hate it.
Oh,
we
snap.
Win.
We
win.
We won. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Our next video we're going to put up shortly here. It's going to be a video showing you the Gauntlet, which is a new skills trainer mode that kind of helps test your skills, as it sounds, and it's also kind of interestingly crazy. So we'll have Adam host that one for you guys coming up on our next video. So here's Adam with final thoughts.
Also, check out our Rocktown League, Madden Connected franchise. Check us out. Details and everything else in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in.